Hello, I'm Gary Newman. Welcome to this small black box, the audio program for the Jagged tours of 2006. This double audio CD contains my answers to 50 questions taken from those sent in by fans and those asked by the media. They are mostly concerned with the new Jagged album, although some move a little beyond that. You will also find music, some of which you will not hear anywhere else. You will hear parts of demos from the Jagged album sessions, some snippets of the alternate versions of tracks that are yet to be released, and other bits of music that was written in the course of making Jagged but never used. I hope you find this interesting. Question 1. Why did it take you 5.5 years to make Jagged? Well, it didn't actually take 5.5 years to make it. It took about a year, and really the bulk of it was done in about the last 6 months, so the second half of 2005. But there was a 5.5 year gap between it coming out and the Pure album before it. So to answer that, there was a lot of things happen. First of all, when Pure came out, I did quite a lot of touring for it. So at least the first year, I would imagine, without looking at the dates, after Pure came out, I was pretty much tied up with promoting it and touring it and so on and so on. And then it came time to get the deal for not the deal, but to sort of make the next album with Eagle and so on, and that finished. Not entirely unexpectedly, but nonetheless it finished. So then you got to figure out what else you're going to do. Took a while to you sort of negotiate with them for a little bit, so that's killing time. And then I went with Artful after a while, and that took a little time, to get that deal sorted out. And then they did Exposure, and then they did Hybrid, and then these are albums that were supposed to be there so that I could have a breathing space, really. They'll be filling the gaps while I was getting on with the new one. But what actually happened was I ended up being quite heavily involved in those as well. So I didn't really do that much on the new one. I was just busy promoting Hybrid and so on. And we had the Rip single and the Craziest single, and I got very involved with those and making videos and things like that. So just carried on being tied up with other things, really. And then obviously Baby Raven come along, and that took a great big chunk out of it. And just stuff, really. Then I got the problems with Artful, and that got involved in it. Took a while to sort that out. And in between all these things, I was doing lots of gigging and all that sort of stuff as well, and various other little projects. And I was writing when I wrote a lot of stuff when all this was going on, but nothing ever got finished. I would go away and write a lot of stuff, come back, and then something else would happen, and I'd get involved in that. Then I'd go and write some more stuff, and so it was such a stop start kind of way of working. It just never really got any momentum, and it never started to build up at all. And the album didn't have a real sound to it, it was just bits and pieces, right up until quite close to the end when it all started to come together. But that's about it, really. It just massively distracted, and lots of other things to do, and never really got on top of getting the album sorted out.